Hi, guys. Welcome back to It's Not Cooking Podcast. As always, if you're new, welcome. If you're old, welcome back. Please do not forget to go follow the It's Not Kicking Podcast Instagram page because I would really like to take off the podcast stuff separating from my personal life. So if you can please go follow because everything, updates, clips, everything will be on that page. I want to start off this episode by saying by no means am I complaining or trying to offend anybody, but something has to be said. So let's get started. So one, if not two of us in the family are what is called the responsible child, which means at any beck and call, whenever your parents need or family need, you are the one. You are the one they call, you are the one that they run to. And I don't think people understand the toll it puts you through or the toll it takes on you to be the one that they call for, because the thought process is, what if I can't? Or the other thought process is, what about the others? You know what I'm saying? Having that question, which is, what about the others? And then allowing the others to do, and the others fuck it up. And it's like, no, let me do it. I'll do it. I'm going to do it because you're dumb. And I don't think people talk about enough how draining it is to be the responsible one. How draining it is that even though your parents or whomever is giving you a break, you still try to find a solution to their problem because you also want to be like responsible for them. So backstory to me, on my mom's side, I'm a sibling of 5. And on my dad's side, I'm a sibling of 4. And I hold the most responsibility on both sides. Both sides. Okay? Both. So on my mom's side, because we live in different states, my responsibility isn't so great, but I still feel compelled to help. I still feel compelled to do because I feel like everybody else is living their life. Like everybody else is younger, so let them live free and I'll handle it. And that's just something I can't get out of. And then on my dad's side, I am wholeheartedly the responsible one. Like I'm the one that if something goes the hell down, I am the phone that they ring. Me. And it doesn't matter what it is. I'm the one. And sometimes it gets overwhelming. And sometimes it gets like, call the others. But I know the others ain't gonna do it right. So it's like, don't call them. I got it. But it gets overwhelming and it gets tiring sometimes. There are some parents in this world that do not understand that putting so much responsibility on one person is draining. And for those parents that understand that, so they try to work around it, what also happens is that kid, the responsible child, they're also trying to find a solution for you. They're also trying to break their back to figure out how to help. Even if you're not asking for it, it's like embedded in us to run and jump and figure it out for you so that you don't have to figure it out. Or it's like, no problem, no, I got it. Like I do that a lot. I've realized that in my life that if, for instance, if my stepmom needs me to take my little brother, I will make it happen. I will complain, but I will make it happen. Because, like I said, the fastest thing to say is there are other siblings. But the easiest thing to do is to just go do it yourself so that there are no mess ups. There are no mix ups. And that's kind of where I'm at now. It's like, even though I'm the one that you call, I wouldn't mind you calling the others. And then my brain goes back to, if they fuck it up. As a responsible child, we have a huge role. So we're making decisions. We're being trusted with the lives of others or the decision making of others. We are taking credit for things that we didn't do but did do, if that makes sense. Like it's so much. So it's like even if we get the credit for the good things, we also get the credit for the things that go wrong. And it is such a unhealthy balance. Like, for instance, I know that I'm the one to make decisions on whether somebody gets cremated or not. Like I don't like that. I don't like that feeling because like no. Like why would it be my choice to make, to make that? I tell my parents, if you putting me in charge of that, figure that out before you get there. And you just tell me what to do and I just do the list of stuff. I don't want to be responsible for that. I don't. Or, you know, the tough decisions. Like for instance, my mom has kidney issues. She's kidney disease. And my biggest fear is having to make a decision to do or to not to do. That is my biggest fear. If something was to go wrong, they're going to ask me. I'm her first. They're going to go to me. I don't like that responsibility. I don't. When it comes down to my little brother, if my parents go out of town, I'm the one that they take. I'm the one I take him. I go get him. I take him to school. We do homework. Imagine doing Mandarin and you don't know Mandarin. With a 7-year-old. I don't know how to do Mandarin. But if they go away, that's a part of my responsibility to do Mandarin. But that's what I do. Like when they go away, I love for them to go away. I love for them to go on trips. It does something for me. So to make sure that they go, I will drop everything and do for them so they can go. Even if it means I'm dead dog tired, which is probably not the best thing to do. Because how can you move if you're dead dog tired? But my son and my brother go to school at separate times. I mean, like a whole hour apart. So for me to do both, I would have to get up 2 hours earlier than I normally do to get one ready, take that one to school, come back, get the other one ready, take that one to school, and then go to work, and then get off work, and then go get it's. But I would do it because I know that it's everybody else got their own life. I'm right here. I got it. I'm right here. Even though in retrospect, it would be better if we all shared some type of responsibility when it comes to it. And don't let me talk about the guilt part. The guilt of saying no, or the guilt of saying I can't, even though me personally, I have the most understanding parents. So if I say I can't, they understand I can't, and they will make do with the I can't. But the guilt I feel after saying I can't kills me. Because I'm the responsible one. So I'm supposed to be able to do. I'm supposed to be able to be 100% available. So when I can't, I feel terrible about it. And I know that has nothing to do with them. That's my own personal thing. But there are parents that make you feel like because you said no, you're shunned from the family. Like, you said no to me? Disowned. Dishonor on your... What did Mushu say? Dishonor on your family. Dishonor on your cow. Like, it's just... Like, why? There's other flipping children. Call them. They can do one thing. You know who I always felt bad for? The children who had to be an adult before they got a chance to actually be a kid. So, with being a responsible child is when your parent has to go to work and you have to kind of take care of your younger siblings, and now you're the mom, and or you're the dad, and you're getting them ready for school, and you're um making them breakfast and making sure they're at school on time and doing their hair, and it's just it's so much responsibility on such a young child that I don't think parents understand the trauma that comes after that. Like, I know so many people who refuse to have children because their parents had them watching their siblings when they were young. And they're like, that scarred me enough to know that I would never have my own kids. Even if my kids don't come out nothing like my siblings. The trauma that I went through by being a parent so young, I would never want to have my own kids. And that part doesn't get talked about a lot because the parent expects you to have a kid. And then we be like, I don't want a kid. Like, why not? Why won't you give me a grandchild? And it's like, because I had to take care of all of your kids. And they were terrible. Now I don't want my own. Now this is my time to be an adult and live out what I was supposed to do as a child. And that part is like, or that responsible child growing up and resenting their parents. And it's like, I don't dislike you, but I'm pissed. Like, you took away my childhood because you had to do the stuff that took care of us. Like, and I get it. Like, taking care of a child, taking care of children while having to go to work, especially being like single momish, it's not easy. So when you do get that older child, like that was my thing. If I ever had another child, JJ would not be responsible for them. I'm not making him babysit. I'm not making him take them to school. Like, if I could do it myself, I would just do it because I want him to be able to be a kid. Like, you don't have to have your brother running around behind you or your sister running behind you unless you want them to. And I think that was always my biggest thing. Like, my oldest sister, when my parents weren't like home because they were at work, she took care of us. So she would make us dinner and, get us in the shower and stuff like that. And I know that was annoying for her. I would be annoying because I am annoying. So imagine me pissing somebody off. I would understand if I was the reason why she didn't want kids. I would understand it. I would wholeheartedly understand it because it's too much. It's too much. Like, I have friends who were not even the oldest, were the middle child and took on the responsibility of both the oldest and the youngest children because she was deemed the responsible one, the one that was level-headed, the one that could understand what was child's play and what was adult play. And because she understood adult play more, it was thrown on her to be the responsible one, where she has older siblings to take on that role. They just didn't. Being a responsible child is not all bad. There are some rewards in there. Like me, I love being at the beck and call when I can, and I get stuff, random stuff. I love stuff. Who don't love stuff? Every time, and I'm the first one they think about when they get stuff. I love that. So it's like, and then you get to give them a break, and that's my thing. Like, I always wanted to give my parents a break. I know I have a little brother. He's 7. He's annoying. So if I could give my parents a break, I will. Even if it irritates my soul. Because he's 7. But it's some rewards in it. I think the whole idea is just like wishing you had a little bit more help. Like, put the pressure on someone else for a little while. Little bit to break won't hurt, But again, it's that little person in my head, especially for me, and I love my brothers. I love you guys. I do. But I would never, no. Let me do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. It's going to drive me nuts to know that they're doing something. And it's really responsible. As much as I bitch and moan, I still do it. Like, my whole thing is being helpful. So even if it's overwhelming, I would still do it. And I'm learning how to say no, or I can't, without feeling the guilt behind it, because in my eyes, I'm always available for them. Always. I've dropped so much just to help. So like, for instance, when my mom first found out that she had a kidney disease, I dropped out of like going to hair school first, because I think I applied for hair school like 3 times. I dropped out of hair school. I ran down south, and I took care of my brothers and sisters while my stepdad was back and forth in the hospital with her. So I would get them up, I would get them dressed, I would make them breakfast, I would get them on a bus, I would sit home with them, I would do homework with them, I would get them, play with them for a little bit, get them ready for bed. And that was my cycle. And I think that was 20 years old. That was my cycle, maybe 19. I dropped everything. But I felt like that was my job as the oldest daughter she had. You know? Like, so if you're confused, I have 2 older siblings that are adopted, and then I'm her biological first child. So we're not confused here, because when I said older sister early on, everybody be like, but wait. Yes, I have an older sister, but at the time she wasn't there. So I'm her oldest biological child. And I felt like I had to run to her rescue, because I felt like they couldn't do it alone. Like, he couldn't be at the hospital. My stepdad couldn't be at the hospital with her and take care of the kids at the same time. It was impossible. And it was running him ragged. And I'm like, well, I ain't doing nothing. I mean, I do have school, but I could put that on hold and come back to it. And that's exactly what I did. So that's what I mean by, like, my availability for my parents is endless. For example, even down to recently, my mom went out with her friends, and they went to a spot that she typically wouldn't go to. And because I didn't know how she went to Stoned. And because I didn't know how her body would react to going to Stoned, I rented a car to go pick her up, because I didn't want her in an Uber with some weirdo. I didn't have to do that, because she wanted me to put her in an Uber, and I was just like, no. But my responsibility to take care of her kicked in, and I ran to her rescue. Even though she didn't need rescuing, it was just like, I don't know how she's going to act. I would rather her in the car with me, however she is. And I will take, like, I think it was like midnight when I left. Like, yeah, like not like 12:30. I got home like 2 in the morning. Like, my responsibility to take care of my parents is crazy. I had a scare. It's not funny. It's funny now. It wasn't funny then. I had a scare where my dad was asleep. My little brother was up. He was supposed to be taken to school, but he couldn't wake my dad up. Listen to me. The way I grabbed my keys and ran at the speed of light to my father's house. Speed of light. Because I'm like, oh, what if he dead? What if he died? And my little brother is just... Listen to me. When he opened that goddamn door and he was standing there, I just passed out. I started crying. Why would you do that to me? Why would you do that to me? But that's what I mean by, like, the responsibility, it got its ups and it's got its downs, but them downs, like when you think your parents is dead and like, I had to tell my mom, like, don't call me for a while. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me nothing. Because I can't. But that's how I am. Like, and because I'm the responsible kid, if I get a call after a certain time of night, my anxiety, my entire body shakes before I answer that phone. Because if you're calling me at a certain time, I know something's wrong. And the responsibility of that is crazy. Like, me, one time I had to, like, get up at 4 in the morning and, like, go to my parents' house just to watch my brother while they had to take him to the hospital. Like, that part of my body, it's so much. And it's like, because I'm the closest, it's like be up. Like my phone is rarely on silent, just because I just don't know what can happen, and I need to always be available. And that's the part that drives me nuts, because I'm always available and they know that. And I know they don't do it on purpose, but they know that if I'm calling Coy, she's going to answer the phone. She's going to come immediately. She's going to do. And in a way, that be wrecking my brain. It be hurting my heart. And then when I have to say no, I feel so shitty about it. But in the midst of that, I have to try to set some kind of boundary, you know? Ending this video with, I need people to understand, and I need my parents, if you're watching this, to understand that I in no way, shape, or form feel no type of way. Like, this is not me complaining. This is not me coming at nobody. It's just being able to express like the totality of it. Like, there is so much more than like, oh, she's always available, like, or he is always available. But for people, the ones that are the responsible kids, you got to start practicing your boundaries. You got to start practicing the I can't today. Like, I could do it this day. Or, okay, I can't right now. That's too much for me. That's too much on my plate. You need to be okay with saying it's too much on your plate. And there are some parents, unfortunately, that are not going to give you the grace that you need to say, you know what? I understand that, and I'm okay with it. Some are going to call you ungrateful. Some are going to be like assholes. But you got to know your parent, and you got to know how to talk to them in a way that they understand. I am blessed to have parents that give me grace if I can't. I am blessed to have parents that give me grace when I can't. Because there are some times in life when I just can't do it. And I love them for understanding that and not putting so much on me to the point of destruction. For the siblings that are not always called, try and call and see if they need help. Like, take a little bit of the pressure off of the responsible child. Just a smidgen. Just a little bit. We greatly appreciate it.